Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of Spotlight North Carolina Cooperative Extension. North Carolina Cooperative Extension is comprised of two land-grant universities, NC State University and NC A&T State University. I'm your host, Rebecca Benton, and I work with North Carolina Cooperative Extension as the 4-H agent here in Columbus County. And today I have with me special guest, Marissa Spillman. Marissa, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me, Rebecca. I'm excited to be here.
Now tell our audience a little bit about the program that you run and what you do for Extension.
For Extension, okay. I am the EFNEP educator for Columbus Cooperative Extension, and that's the Expanded Food and Nutrition Education Program. We teach children, youth about health, food, nutrition, how to move more, how to make smarter eating choices.
Great. And like I said, this is one of the programs that's near and dear to my heart because I've worked in this program for many years. Right. So today you come to us and you're going to actually teach us a fun EFNEP recipe, right?
I am. We're going to do Hummus is Yummus, and it is an EFNEP recipe.
Now, talking about, before we get started in the recipe part, tell us a little bit about hummus. Like, what is it, like what food group would it fit into if you're teaching the youth about this? So what will we tell them?
We're teaching, this is looks like a bean, but this is a protein. This is garbanzo beans, also known as chickpeas. And a lot of people do not know this is a protein, but this is a complete protein, meaning it has all 9 essential amino acids. And you're talking about the food groups. If you were going to use this as on your My Plate, this is a protein, so you could take your vegetables, dip it in the dip we're going to make, put a glass of milk or yogurt on the side, a piece of fruit. If you're using crackers to dip, that would count as your grain. So this can absolutely be a major part of the My Plate food group, protein.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, this is, like I said, this is one of the fun things that we teach, or that EFNEP teaches kids. So let's get started and get started in this recipe.
Okay, we ready to start?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start with our chickpeas. And this recipe, we're pretty much going to put everything together and mix it up. So what I did do, I have the ingredients pre-prepped, but before I open this can of chickpeas, I clean the top really well because you want to make sure it's sitting in warehouses, and a lot of people don't think to clean the cans. We clean the top of the cans. I also strain the juice, which I have on reserve. We're going to use that to thin our hummus if it's too thick. But I rinse these beans because I wanted to take, these are low sodium beans, reduced sodium, but I wanted to take any excess off.
Right.
So that's a little bit about the beans, what we did. So we're going to add those. And we also have some olive oil. That's pre-measured. Now sesame oil, because traditional hummus calls for tahini paste, which is ground sesame seeds, but you really don't use ground tahini for anything other than hummus much, so you can skip it altogether. I like the flavor it gives, so I did choose to use some sesame oil.
Okay.
Because it gives it more of a traditional hummus flavor.
So you just taught me something, because I didn't know it was made from, you said it tahini?
Yes, tahini.
Which is sesame seeds that are ground
paste,
up. Okay.
Yep, and it can be a little more expensive.
Yeah.
So it's not something like rice or onions that you can use every day in your household. It's something you kind of get for something special.
Yeah.
So the sesame oil you can use for more things, and it gives it that special flavor, the traditional hummus flavor. We also have some salt and some cumin, and this recipe can be edited. I mean, if you don't like a lot of cumin, you can put less. I have seen people put cayenne pepper in place
Make it
of cumin.
Spicy. So how much salt and how much cumin are you putting in there?
How much salt? Okay, so we have a half a teaspoon of salt, and that's a half of tablespoon of cumin.
Okay.
I like the cumin flavor. Some people may not.
See, no, I like cumin. I add it to a lot of my recipes.
I like it too. So, excuse me. It calls for a clove of garlic, of fresh garlic. And anyone who doesn't know, if you get this kind of minced garlic, it's convenient. If you can't just buy the cloves of garlic. 1 clove of garlic is equal to 1 teaspoon of the minced.
Okay. So you can
fact.
just substitute.
Yep.
And get it in there.
And some people leave the stuff. I can't stand it. I'm a big waste person, so I have to get it. I can't stand like when there's like an onion left in there or something.
Gotta make sure you get it out.
And lemon juice. Lemon juice brings out that flavor in the hummus that gives it that little pop.
Okay.
So we are going to, it's going to be a little loud, we're going to blend this a little bit. I'm thinking it's going to be really thick and we're going to have to add our juice. But we will start. We'll start it. Is everyone ready?
My paper's about to blow off
Is
the
it
table.
blowing off
Yep.
right there? So it's already really thick.
Yeah.
So we're just going to add some of our reserved bean juice.
Now, how much? Now, is this kind of like a guesstimation when you're making the hummus to know how much of the juice to use?
Yes, it's kind of your personal preference, and different blenders are going to blend differently. I've made this in a food processor. Some people like it thicker. Some people like it thinner.
Yeah.
It's really personal preference in the end.
Right.
So it's very customizable. I mean, you like with the seasonings. You can even use a different bean. I know there's some folks I know that use white beans, navy beans, as opposed to.
See, I like the consistency of the chickpeas because they kind of remind me of peanuts in a way.
Yeah, they do. You can
Like
do so
when you
much
when
with
you
them.
eat them, they if you get them out of the can. I've never had dried ones, so I've only ever tried canned
roasted.
ones.
I would recommend.
Well, I have roasted them before, like in an air fryer. They're very versatile, so you could use them in a hummus, or you can make them as a quick snack.
And at home, I think they would. In my experience, they're better when you roast them at home.
Okay.
Get this a little more. Me and this blender are still getting to know each other.
That's okay.
We're still getting to know each other. We have our good days and we're new friends, so.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Give it a little bit more stir or mix. Okay. Like I said, it's kind of just your personal preference. Kind of just play with it.
Well, it smells delicious. I can smell all the seasonings that you put in there kind of emulsifying through the air as it's been blended.
And if you want to highlight the benefits of this, garlic is an antimicrobial. It's a really big 50-cent word. But it fights and prevents infectious diseases. And garlic has been known to do that it's been used medicinally for a long time. And the olive oil we put in here, that's a good fat.
Yeah, that's a healthy
good
fat.
for you. So just some benefits of those. And this is at a consistency that you see that consistency?
Absolutely. Pour it in the bowl. That way we can
See what we're looking for?
look at it
And
a
like I
little
said,
better.
this is absolutely customizable. You can make it thinner, you can make it thicker, you can add cayenne pepper, like I have seen that done, and you can add, someone even said oregano. They love oregano on everything. I don't.
That's not your cup of tea. That's okay. I like oregano on some things. I put some on my chicken last night when I cooked it in the air fryer.
Right.
So,
I don't think of it when I think of my hummus. Or maybe pasta or Italian.
yeah.
But to each her own. You can use cayenne. You can use. My husband loves Cajun seasoning on everything. Different things. I like it traditional though, you know.
Oh yeah. Nothing wrong with that. My brother used to stick, and he may still do it sometimes, but when we'd go to the beach and he would make sandwiches instead of mayonnaise, he would use hummus on his sandwiches.
Oh wow! And you know, I've never tried that. You told me that you would do that.
And I've tried it. It's pretty good. It makes it's not as an oily paste as like a mayonnaise would be, but it's not bad.
Right.
It's not bad.
Still kind of the consistency.
And it gives you some more protein in your sandwich.
Yes, it's great protein.
And if you're at the beach, you want to really be careful that it's not really a sandwich.
Sandwich.
Yeah.
Sandwich without the sand.
So let's see if we can. That's a very nice consistency there, I'd have to say.
Thank you. Yep.
So, do you want to plate a little bit up, and that way you can put some crackers with it.
We can plate it up.
We can sample it.
Yes. Please do sample it.
We mean myself.
So you haven't had it with the
I've had them with carrots. I've had the homemade hummus before. It's been a while.
But you have not had this recipe with the sesame?
No, I don't think I put any sesame. I don't know. Did it call for sesame oil or had a
Sesame
suggestion
oil
of it?
is optional, but like I said,
Let's see.
it kind of gives it that traditional, tahini flavor.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So try it out, Rebecca.
I'm going to try it.
See how it is.
That's really good.
Good.
Mm-hmm. And I can definitely taste the sesame oil in
Can
it,
you
so it
sense
gives
that?
that. Mm-hmm. It gives it that
little bit of-
original flavor.
And I used half of a tablespoon to give you some more. If you don't want, that's like I said, it's very customizable. If you wanted to just do a few drops, it's in an easy little drop bottle. You can measure it, play with it.
And I can see, like I said, I can see kids enjoying this and enjoying the play with it as well, making it customized. We'll have some that say, hey, if you want to try yours hot or you want to make it this way, and have like a challenge
Right, right.
with the kids, or, you know, a friendly challenge with the kids, because surprisingly, the more I work with them, the more their personalities, and you'll see the seasonings and the spices, especially when you do cooking camps with them, how they like hot or they like tangy or they like limey stuff, or, you know, it's very interesting, things that I wouldn't expect to happen.
Right. And maybe they like to try it different. Some people may like the chips, and some people may like cucumbers dipped in it. And like you said, the sandwich.
But one thing I want you to share with the audience is the actual recipe. So if you can go over the recipe
Okay.
with them right quick like.
Okay, yes. This is our Hummus is Yummus recipe. And what we used here is 1 can of garbanzo beans, also known, or maybe better known, as chickpeas. And so we drained those. We saved the reserve juice. So that is the juice that we use to thin out our hummus. But we did rinse the beans. So we rinsed those. 1 tablespoon of lemon juice and 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 1 clove of garlic, which that clove of garlic is also 1 teaspoon if you get the minced.
Right.
The pre-minced. 1/2 tablespoon of ground cumin, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then the sesame oil is optional, but I did opt for that, and I did the 1/2 tablespoon of the sesame oil. And then we have pita chips for serving, but you can use carrots.
Right. If you need to up that vegetable content, you could use the carrots or the cucumbers.
And this can be a huge part of my plate without the meat aspect. It's a great protein, a complete protein, but not if you're not a big meat eater.
Right.
Then that's a good way to get it.
Yep.
Get it in.
I actually made like a chickpea salad to go with our dinner last night too. So, of course, it wasn't ground, but it was very interesting, you know, with the chickpeas, and we put beans and corn and tomato and cucumbers and mixed it together, and I used cumin in it. So
I bet that was good.
it was delicious. But like I said, I just try to find inventive ways of having extra vegetables in our diets, making sure that you've got good, healthy proteins in your diets. Because one thing about this, if you were having, it's a lot healthier than if you were having like fried chicken or something like that, you know?
Yes, it is. Because that's a sometimes food. In EFNEP, we say that's a sometimes food.
Yeah.
It's delicious. It is delicious, and I will not take away from it. But more foods like this incorporated into our diet is...
Right.
And it doesn't take a whole lot. You don't have to, like, eat this whole bowl. Just a few bites.
What is the serving? Does it have a serving suggestion on there?
The serving suggestion that I have, so we will say that this amount is supposed to be 2 servings.
Okay.
Which seems, you know, most of the time I've seen 2 tablespoons for hummus.
Yeah,
But I
for
guess
like
if
the
you're
ones in the
going
grocery
to-
store, but if that's homemade
Right,
and
it's
it's not as got any
homemade.
preservatives and all the other things in there, then, you know, you're looking, that's half of that is a good amount. And even if you think about if you're not trying to incorporate more of these, but you're trying to make a quick dish to take to an event, this will be an excellent spot to take a quick dish to this event, throw some chips, throw some vegetables on there, and then voila, you're done.
Right, and it's pretty inexpensive. I mean, and most of these things are staples that you have at home. And this homemade hummus will last for 7 days.
Yep.
In the refrigerator.
Yep. Now, Marissa, if anybody's interested in getting up with you about doing EFNEP classes, learning about the program, how can they get in contact with you?
And I would love to talk to anyone about those classes. They can call me at the Extension Building. The number is 910-640-6605.
All right, audience, thank you so much for joining us in this episode of Spotlight North Carolina Cooperative Extension. We look forward to seeing you in the next one.